Hello and welcome. My lovely assistant today is Shelby. Yay! All is back to normal. Although on this show, things can change quickly. Foxdale is also lurking around and he may claim the beanbag any moment now. Hey, hello, hello. We have a bunch of people here today already, and we have quite a show for you. First, today is obviously all about Amazon paper, so I'll be working in my book, Gothic Wonderlands, and I will be coloring. I actually have markers today. I will be coloring, one moment please, this page. We also have some very exciting things to do. We have fan mail. This is from Tara Corvus, who is in the live chat with us right now, and I will be opening it not right away. I will open it about halfway through the show, so I'll torture you guys for a little bit. I have no idea what's in it. It's a surprise. We'll find out. So I am going to switch my screen and we'll start coloring. There's Tara. Thank you so much for sending me a present. I have not looked inside yet. I have no idea what's in there. So I am going to be as surprised as the rest of you. Nightbot! Hi, Nightbot. Yes, Nightbot is once again with us. Hello, Bulma. Sound is good. Thank you. Thank you kindly. Hello, Tara. Hello, Bulma. Hello, Linda. Who else is with us today? We had Stacy and Michelle with us and a few other people who are coming and going. And more people are showing up. I see. Thank you so much for your thumbs up. If you are watching this live, do jump into the live chat. That's where all the fun is. You do have to be subscribed to the channel to chat live. So just hit that subscribe button and jump into the chat. So this is what we're coloring today. Oh, awesome. And this is obviously the final outcome, but I'll show you the entire process. And this is from my book, Gothic Wonderlands, as I already showed you. The links to both the physical copy of the book, physical, and the PDF download are, of course, in the video description. The cool thing about this book is that on Amazon, the printed version comes in paperback, as always, and hardcover. I do love hardcover books, and this is one of my special books, so I also offer it in hardcover. Yes, it does. I did actually base that character very much on the Day of the Dead and the Day of the Dead makeup. Now, speaking of the Day of the Dead and the Day of the Dead makeup, there's another page that I decided to color in this book after I did that one. And there it is. There it is on the screen. And that page that you're looking at right now is a lesson that just went live for my patrons only. So if you are a patron and you belong to the Coloring Club tier, this lesson is up for you all month. This is a little bit more complicated than what I'll be showing today, and it's grayscale. I rarely color grayscale, so this lesson is special. If you guys are interested in advanced lessons, actual lessons, not just color and chat things, then join Patreon and specifically the Coloring Club tier, because every month there's a special advanced lesson on some new technique or another. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm coloring actually in the physical book, this one, the paperback, as I showed you. And this is the Amazon KDP standard print paper, which gets a really bad rap in the coloring community. Hello, Ty. Welcome to the show. The Coloring Club is awesome. Thank you kindly. That is coming from my Coloring Club member. And this is going to be popping up on the screen throughout the show. That's a very quick teaser of the book flip through. So if you don't have the book yet, wait until after the show. Figure out if you want the PDF version or the actual physical version, and then go grab a copy. Both links are in the video description. As I mentioned in the video description, I have no horse in this race. I sell books both as PDF downloads and as physical books. And actually, I get paid better if you guys buy the PDF versions. So there's no reason for me to push the Amazon versions on you guys. My job here on the show is to give you 100% honest reviews of products. And today the product is the paper itself. I want to join the coloring club so bad. It looks fun. Join us. Join us, join us, join us. A couple of people joined this morning already. It is an excellent club. So the paper thing has been a topic of debate in the coloring community for years. And there's this common consensus that it sucks. Basically, in a nutshell, everyone across the board tends to talk crap about the quality of the Amazon KDP paper. And I decided to put it to a test because it's been a few years since I colored directly in one of these books. And I suspect that people are just repeating what they're hearing over and over again. And it became this trend of, oh, Amazon paper sucks. But does it really? So far, I have no complaints about it. And by the way, this is not a color along. You guys are always welcome to color along with me as you rewatch these shows. But I'm not here to specifically teach this technique. Again, if you want to take my designated lessons where I teach, that is on Patreon in the Coloring Club. Here on the show, we do more chat and we do more product review. So I do show the pencils that every new pencil that I start using, I do show it. So if you are a person who is very specific about pencils, feel free to pause and skip forward and backwards to get that exact pencil number and name, but I'm not calling them out. What I will say is that I'm working with Prismacolor pencils and completely with Prismacolor pencils on this paper. And the things that I will be testing on this paper, the things that I do want to cover with you guys to decide if it is good enough to color or not, to color on or not, are thickness of the paper, texture is in tooth, color application, blending, layering, and paper warping. Those are all the criteria that I want to cover in order to understand if this paper is good enough or not. So starting with thickness, this paper is not very thick. So a lot of people tend to connect the thickness of the paper with the quality of the paper. Some published books, professionally published books from Penguin Publishing or other book houses like that, tend to come on this really glorious thick paper for coloring books. And that is certainly, hello Leslie, welcome. And that is certainly impressive, but it doesn't mean that that's the best quality paper. I have lots of coloring books on my shelves, and some of them have thick paper that's just too glossy to color on. So the thickness of the paper itself does not make the paper good. Some high quality paper happens to be thick, some high quality paper happens to be thinner. The KDP paper is thin, it is. It's not crazy thin, it's not like tissue paper. It's probably like your standard 60-pound drawing paper, which is all we need for coloring with pencils. Now, I am only testing this paper on pencils, not on markers. A lot of people like to color with markers or mixed media. And for that, this paper absolutely will not survive. It's not designed for that, but it doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that you're not using it with the correct tools. If you take your regular printer paper and try to color with markers, you will also fail miserably because they will just bleed through. So you can try watercolor on it, but the water will obviously warp the paper texture. You know, not all paper is designed for watercolor. So if you use the tool correctly, it should work to your advantage. Now, we had a question here. Have you ever used a paper that you absolutely hated? Yes. There are a lot of cardstock papers that I absolutely hate because they're just too shiny and too glossy. So for me, usually, hello, Michaela, welcome to the show. For me, if the paper is too thin and has a little bit of gloss to it, that's pretty bad for pencils. So I tend to do my research on paper and make sure that my paper actually matches the tools that I'm applying to it. And that's very important. A lot of people just jump in and they assume that all paper was created equal and they can use all the tools that they're currently into, that they're currently playing with on that page. And that's just not true. Not everything is designed for markers. Marker paper is very specific. Watercolor paper is very specific. But for pencils only, the thickness of the paper, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. In terms of texture, I actually really like the texture of this paper. I was pleasantly surprised. Again, it's been a few years since I colored in one of these books. I tend to teach on loose leaf, on printed paper, because I like to teach various techniques on toned paper. So for that, I like to print my pages. And of course, I offer all of my material in print as well as on PDF. I used alcohol markers on Amazon paper, and it works well if the pages are one-sided. I wouldn't use water-based markers on it, though. Terrible. Yes, that's an excellent comment. And I am surprised, actually, that it turned out so well. In my books, yes, in my books, all pages are on one side. So I do this specifically. Everything I do for you guys, I do with you in mind. So every single page, if this is the page, and you turn it, and then on the back it's empty, and then the next page starts. And all of my books are like that. I would never do my coloring back to back, even not just for the bleed through, but if you have two pages facing each other and you color both of them, then when you close the book, they obviously always have to touch, and you don't want that. It's not nice to your colored pages. They should have clean sheets on top of them. Are you using this paper for shadow or for design on her face? Both. That's an excellent question. I'm using it for both. And that actually leads us to our next criteria very smoothly. Hello, Stacy, welcome. And that is color application. The next thing that I wanted to test on this paper is color application. Using my Prismacolor pencils, I was pleasantly surprised at how clean my colors are laying on the page. I just fell victim to this common saying that Amazon paper sucks for years, even though I published books on this paper. And finally, it struck me that I need to question this, because maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just people got used to saying so. And I believe that to be the case. I completed this page and I was so pleased with the result that I went on and did a more difficult page, the grayscale page, to test my pencils even further, because so far I have no complaints about this paper, zero complaints. My experience with this paper was, I did a couple of colorings in my own books on line art, and there were no complaints there. But then I remember about 4 years ago, I did a coloring of one of Bennett Klein's coloring pages in his books, and his are all pretty heavy grayscale, like mid-tone grayscale. And I didn't like that experience. I felt like my colors were a little bit washed out, a little bit grayed out. They didn't get as pure of a color as I wanted. And I don't remember what brand of pencils I used for that. That's the honest truth. And that was also 4 years ago. I don't know if Amazon has done anything to change the paper since. It feels the same as I flip through my books, physically through my published books from years ago, and the ones today, they feel exactly the same. But my coloring experience on this has been absolutely amazing. And again, not to sell you guys books, because the same book is available in a PDF download, which makes no difference to me whatsoever which one you buy, but to, you know, break this rumor of Amazon paper sucks. Because you know what? I'm doing it right now. I'm coloring on it right now, and I'm having a lot of fun and creating a super beautiful result. No complaints there whatsoever. colored on an Amazon paper once with Black Widow, and they were sounds like scratching rubber surface while coloring. That could be both ways. You could have had Black Widow pencils that weren't completely stellar. Also, I don't know what kind of a page, what kind of a book, whose book. Again, like super hardcore grayscale coloring books like Bennett Klein, I had trouble coloring in it with my colored pencils. So consider various things. It definitely should not be scratching like that. I did not have anything remotely resembling that experience coloring on this paper. So something obviously went wrong there in your experience, and it's not supposed to be like that. The horrible scratching sound, it takes a lot. This paper has a little bit of texture to it, but not as much as the Strathmore paper. It was Inktober book from 2021, my book. That book is very heavy grayscale. So dealing with that much ink on a page, Black Widow pencils are not ideal for that kind of coloring. Therein lies the problem. So that takes us back to what kind of pencils do you use? If you were to use Prismacolor pencils on that book, you won't have that issue. I guarantee you, if you still have that book and if you still have pages that you didn't color in it, I challenge you to color a page using Prismacolor pencils and let me know how your experience changes, because Prismacolors so far, okay, I see. Which colors would you, well, any colors, as long as it's Prismacolor. Any colors at all. It's not about the pencil colors, but rather about the pencil brand. Black Widow pencils do not do well with layering over other pigments. And in a heavy grayscale book like my Inktober 2021, Black Widow will struggle. By the way, new people who are just rolling in, thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for being on the show. We have in the live chat right now a poll. And the question is, do you color more often in books or on printed pages? And in the beginning of the show, we were very heavy on pages. We had 80% on pages, and right now it's starting to even out. We have 42% books and 58% pages. So please, if you are watching this live, jump into the live chat and drop your answer in the poll. This is another thing that I was pleasantly surprised by, the Q-tip trick. I love using Q-tips for my smooth blending to create this nice transitional effect. This is just two colors so far. I had a nice peachy pink color and a strong kind of mid purple, and then I used my Q-tip to blend it, and it worked absolutely beautifully. The ink isn't smudging. Nothing is smudging on the page. The blending is actually better on this paper than it is on loose leaf. And that's saying a lot. The only other paper that blends this well, in my experience, is Strathmore paper. Regular drawing paper also blends sometimes well. If you go on Amazon and you get like professional artist drawing paper, it will also behave similarly. Let's see, softer pencils will be better on the Amazon paper. Harder pencils like Polychromos and Black Widow won't work as well because they rely on layering color. That is very true. That is very true. Softer pencils will work better. So a lot of times I feel like people are very harsh on judging this kind of a paper because they're simply using the wrong tools. And how do you know which tools to use? Well, if you spend any amount of time on this show, you will learn all about all sorts of different tools and watch me actually test drive them live on the show and let you know how I feel about them. I also try to switch things out a bit, try things on different papers, try things on different types of colorings. So this particular one, I started timidly just to test the waters because, again, it's been such a long time since I colored on this paper. I started with my very timid, very soft colors, and now, as you can see, I'm getting bolder and I'm starting to add new colors. This is now a deep, dark purple that I'm adding. As Balma pointed out, I'm using my purple for both shadows and makeup, but my entire mood, you guys know my color combos. I really love my purple and orange. So in general, overall, it's going to be very heavy on purple and like peach. Let's see, I purchased your Inktober book on PDF and printed it on 160 cardstock. I haven't attempted to color it yet. The images are gorgeous without color. Thank you so much for saying so. And actually that book, both of my Inktober books, they are especially the first one. The first one is the super heavy grayscale one, and it's really designed to be like a coffee table art book that you can also color. The second one, 2022, 2021, whatever, the last Inktober, the steampunk one, I actually did all the drawings with the colorist in mind to begin with. So those are designed to be grayscale, but colorable grayscale, but there's still a lot of grayscale there. So for something like that, I would recommend, you can also print them lighter. You can print them a little bit lighter if you're concerned about how heavy the grayscale is, but Prismacolor all the way, you guys. It's honestly the best print for coloring grayscale. Let's see. So relatable, so relatable. Don't forget to become a channel member, you guys. If you are not yet my YouTube channel member, you are missing out, especially top supporters. My top supporter tier gets access behind the scenes, super secret lessons every once in a while, and there's one right now up there still. Hello Karen, welcome to the show. I used to print pages on cardstock. Since my printer died, I now color in books mostly. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, sorry to hear about your printer. I hope you get a new one. But that also happens to me sometimes. If my printer is misbehaving, I'll just switch to printing, to coloring in books, because I have so many books. And Karen, what has your experience been? How has the difference been? Are you coloring in books that are Amazon books, or in books that are different, that are like private publishing houses like Penguin or something? And how has your experience been? Is it different from cardstock? Is it better? Is it worse? Is it more difficult? Did you have to adjust a lot? I always wanted to burnish a page just to see. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right. Oh my God. I accidentally switched my screen. All right, guys, remember that as more people are showing up, we may have to take a quick break because we have a package to open. I have this surprise package that has been torturing me for days now. This is from Tara Corvus, who's of course in the live chat with us right now. If you guys want me to open this right now, let me know in the live chat, yay or nay. If everyone says yes, I will open it right now and we'll find out what's in it. If not, we will wait until later on in the show. And if you are in the live chat, these messages are popping up from Nightbot. Thank you so much, Nightbot. In the night chat, you can actually, in the night chat, in the live chat, you can actually click on these links. So these very helpful links are showing up right now, like for my books and stuff like that. Yes, yes, open it. I'm nosy. Yes, 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 yes. Go for it. You guys want me to open? Do you really want me to open it? There's so many of you watching and only like 6 of you said yes. Should I torture you or should I open it now? I don't know. I don't know. I might just keep torturing you guys. It's so much fun. I have both of those in book form. Love them. Awesome. I can't keep it anymore. Yay! Okay, okay, we'll open it now. All right, then I'm going to put this on pause and I'm going to switch myself to the big screen. Looks like my lovely assistant is still with me. And we will open this. It's very large. Open it, they say. Oh my God. This is going to be crinkly. They're packing peanuts inside. I did not expect packing peanuts. So many packing peanuts. Who's going to clean up this room? Okay, looks like there's nothing else in the box but packing peanuts. Tara says sorry. Sorry for the packing peanuts. All right, within the packing peanuts, we had some crinkly paper. Sorry if the audio is crinkling. We have some crinkly paper. Michelle says my package has been delivered too. You missed the delivery. It will be here next time you collect. Open your gift. Yes, 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 I will. If you guys want, I can open all my stuff live on the show if this is fun for you. All right. Opening the crinkle paper. We have a beautifully handwritten letter, which I will not read live on the show. I will read it in person. It continues with lots of doodles. Very cool, very personal, and oh my god, check this out. This is amazing. This is me, obviously, with my hair shorter. And there's tech support. And there's Shelby upside down in her beanbag. And there's Foxtail. And a peacock feather. I used to have a pet peacock. And I did a lesson on where I teach how to color a peacock feather with pencils. And those look like Black Widow pencils. That is so cool. I absolutely love it. It looks like it got crinkled just a little bit, but it's nothing that a pile of really heavy books won't fix. It's amazing. So there you go again. And this was done by Tara Corvus. Thank you so much. That's insane. I love it. Thank you. Let's see. There you go. Thank you. More packing peanuts. Yay, the drawing is awesome, Tara. Lisa really looks amazing. So lovely. Hello, Anna. Welcome to the show. I want to see the shirts I got you. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. Next time I will wear one of the shirts that you got me. They're all upstairs, so I can't go and get them right now. But yeah, I will show off all of my shirts. I'll wear on the next stream one of the shirts that you guys sent me. And then I will show off the other designs as well, because you guys send me so much cool stuff. It's amazing. All right, that was so much fun. I love it. Oh my God, I love it. Fantastic gifts. There are 2 more things in there. Oh, there are apparently 2 more things in there. Let's see. Are they in the box? There they are. There are 2 more things in there. We will pause this again. And we will see 2 more things in there. I'm covered in packing peanuts. Oh, this is cool. This is so cool. It gets cooler, you guys. Okay, we have a card. Tara is, of course, all about ravens and darkness. This is really beautiful. And we have a sticker. I love stickers. This is going to go on my one wheel. And a card, very professional. This is Tara's actual business card. So there she is. There's all of her contact info. Take a screenshot. Follow her on her social media. Follow her YouTube channel, her Instagram. She has an Etsy shop with really cool stuff in it. And that is her name, Tara Corvus. Very, very cool. Thank you again so much. If you guys like sending me stuff, which I really like receiving stuff, do keep sending it. There is a link to my Amazon wish list in the video description. Through my Amazon wish list, you can get my address, my shipping address, and then just use it to ship stuff. If you get stuck on that, just send me a private message and I'll copy and paste that address to you. You're welcome. Nice. Yes, I wear my t-shirts when I stream on Twitch. Adrian and I stream on Twitch every Saturday. The link to that is also in the video description. If you guys enjoy this, if you enjoy spending time with me and chatting, and you like the dogs and Adrian and us just hanging out together and chatting, we have so much fun on Saturdays. It is not an art show though, it's a gaming show. So we are on our PS5 and we're playing games. I'm usually on the live chat and he's playing so that we can take care of both of those things at the same time. But the chats get really silly. Lots of you showed up last Saturday and that was super cool. we talked about all sorts of weird things like tea parties and dolls and dog breeds and law enforcement in various countries and our stories from when we lived in Chile. It's absolutely insane. What game is it that you guys play? Right now, we're going through Fallout 76. So, again, the link to our Twitch channel is in the video description. Swing by and follow us. Check it out. We stream every Saturday. And we started with Borderlands, because we can do multiplayer in Borderlands, and that was lots of fun. And then we got Fallout 76, and we got totally sucked into it. So we'll do that for a while until we fry our brains, and then we'll switch to something else. We also like Cyberpunk and various other games. So we may do Cyberpunk next, but we're not sure. We're not really sure. All right, we got totally sidetracked and it's amazing. I love it. So what's happening on the screen here right now? The next thing that I wanted to test on this paper is blending. So color application so far is working beautifully. As you can see, the colors are coming out very vividly, very purely. It's blending nicely. So blending is extremely important for me. And right before we took our break and did the whole package opening thing, I was talking about how the Q-tip trick works really well on this paper, surprisingly well. I did not expect that. Way better than just on standard printer paper. So actually, if I had a choice between coloring on basic printer paper and this, I would absolutely 100% take this. Most people who print PDF downloads print them on regular paper. Very few of you, a small percentage of you, uses cardstock or Strathmore, although now a lot more of you use cardstock and Strathmore because that's what I teach on the show. And I know I got a lot of you hooked on Strathmore, especially Tantone Strathmore. But in general, overall, in the overarching community of thousands and thousands of colorists, most people just print on their basic standard printer paper. And if you have to choose between that and the Amazon KDP paper, this is way better for coloring, for art. The tooth is just strong enough to capture the colors, and it's not smudgy. It's surprisingly not smudgy. Addicted to toned paper. You're welcome. Prismas blend better for me when I use alcohol markers for the base on Amazon paper. That's insane. I keep talking about how markers aren't really perfect for this paper, but so many people already say that they've done markers on this paper and they work fine. You'll definitely get a bleed through depending on the kind of marker that you use. But again, if you're working in a book like one of mine where it's the back of the page is empty, then it doesn't matter. It won't bleed through so badly that it will damage the page underneath it. Twitch was so much fun on Saturday. Yes, thank you so much for coming. It's loads of fun. So the way that Twitch works is we stream live on Twitch. Only one of us can play, unfortunately. We haven't figured out how to stream both of us playing. So only one of us plays and the other one is on the live chat, chatting with you guys. But we do the whole live show and we play the game. We show our camps and whatever and our costumes. And we run missions and we talk about the game, but we're also chatting in the chat just about life and gossip and weird stuff. So it's like hanging out with us in our living room. But throughout the week, we also play. Like after the show, I'm going to go to the couch and I'm going to play Fallout for the next 3 hours. So we both play throughout the week together on the same server. And we level up a lot. So last week, I was level 50. On Saturday, I'm already level 75. So I'm like a completely different player. I have all different tools. I'm running completely different missions. It is insane. So every week we have new stuff to show off. So if you're a gamer, let us know in the chat and we'll do more game specific conversations with you and we'll talk about specific things. Like we have someone following us now who really wants to see the map and like where we are on the map and what's the best place to place your camp and all that. So we'll do that. But if you're not a gamer and if you're just there to chat with us, you're at all not interfering with the show. You can just come and chat with us about sweet rolls, which has happened. And that's perfectly fine too. It's just a really cool way for all of us to hang out. I missed the start of the stream. Which paper is this? Personally, I didn't like KDP paper, But if I add gesso, it's much better. This is KDP paper. This entire stream is, as is evident by its title, by the way, this entire stream is about testing KDP paper. If you're just rolling in, please do watch the beginning of the show because we already covered so many important facts about this paper, why I'm testing it, how I'm testing it, and all the criteria that I'm taking into consideration. So in a nutshell, thank you for coming to the show, but please do check the beginning because you did miss quite a bit already. Not now, just when it's over, check the beginning. I talked a lot about the thickness of the paper, about texture, color application, blending. Right now we're talking about blending and about to go into layering. Right now I'm adding actual black to the shadows of the heavy makeup around her eyes. And I have no beef with layering on this paper at all. One of the things that I found to be true over the years is that a lot of people are just blindly repeating this KDP paper sucks, and it honestly really doesn't. Probably if that's your experience, you didn't use the correct tools for it, is what I'm starting to realize here on the show. Working with Prismacolor pencils, there's literally zero complaints that I have about this paper, zero. And I was surprised by that. I was expecting the show to be more like we can talk about the positives and the negatives, and that was going to be interesting, but there are no negatives here. I literally have no complaints about this paper quality for coloring with Prismacolor pencils. So that's something that I started doing, that I started showing that I do, is I take my X-Acto knife blade, and if there are things that need tiny corrections, I just take them off the surface with an X-Acto knife blade. So there I had a couple of crumbs of my black pencil off the character, and I didn't want to just run my hand over it to smudge it, and I just took my X-Acto knife blade and took that little bit of pigment off. If you are just joining the show, please do check the question in the live chat. We have a question: do you color more often in books or print pages? Me personally, I color 98% of the time on pages. I rarely color directly in books. This is a very rare occasion that you're seeing on the screen right now. And the reason that I do print stuff is because I teach a lot. Most of my content is teaching. So I'm either doing demos on YouTube, or I'm teaching in my courses on Udemy or in Skillshare, or I'm teaching my patrons privately. A lot of my content is for teaching purposes. So I have pages that are designated for those courses specifically. So they're not available in books anywhere. They're specifically drawn for my students. So my students need to be able to print those and practice on them. For that reason, I print a lot and I show a lot of prints. Another reason is I love coloring on toned paper. So I love being able to print my pages on toned paper and show you guys those effects. Yet another reason is a loose paper is a lot easier for me to pin to my board and film as I'm coloring it, as opposed to having a book pinned. Like having this book attached to my drawing board was actually a little complicated and not very comfortable with recording. If I was just coloring by myself, it wouldn't make a difference. But I have my camera above, like I can't just pin the book to the board. I have to somehow clip it to it, and that's a little bit tricky. So that's another reason why I don't color in books for my shows for YouTube or for Udemy or for Skillshare or for Patreon or for all the other platforms where I teach. But so much talk is out there about this paper that I finally decided, you know what, I am going to put it to a test and just demonstrate it. You know, it's not about my opinion. You can see on the screen what's happening, and you can absolutely create beautiful and professional colorings using all the same strategies that I show you on my other coloring pages on this paper, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Now, there are some brands of pencils that won't work well on this paper, but that's true for any type of paper. There are some brands of pencils that just don't work well on Strathmore, and Strathmore is as good as it gets for coloring paper. So consider that. I think it also has to do with how heavy-handed you are and what style of coloring you do. The old Amazon paper was horrible to me, even using Prismas. The new paper is okay. Aha! Someone here to confirm that the paper has changed. I was suspecting that that was the case as well. I think that time when I colored the Bennett Klein page, I think it was in the older paper because that was like 4 or 5 years ago. And I did not have a very good experience. It felt like too much of the gray seeped through, like my colors weren't very clean. I don't know what they did, but today's paper, this is my most recently published book. This is a book that came out in October. I published it just in time for Halloween. So this is a brand new book, and the paper quality here is absolutely flawless. It's not like, oh my God, this paper is life-changing. It's so amazing. No, it's not. It's satisfactory. It's wonderful for this effect. Will it be wonderful for markers? Some people say yay, some people say nay. I honestly wouldn't test markers on this. I think it's too thin for that. I don't think you can do a lot of professional work with markers here, but with pencils, you absolutely can. There's nothing wrong with this paper for pencil quality. Now, I got very excited about how this turned out, so I ended up doing a second coloring in this book. That's more complicated. This is my book, Gothic Wonderlands, and this is the other page that I ended up coloring. Now it's muted because I'm actually teaching a muted, like old photo effect for this page. But I deal a lot with grayscale coloring and how colors layer on top of the heavier end grayscale. In this particular book, on this particular paper, and that's a lesson that I have this month up on Patreon. So check that out if you're interested in an actual lesson on how to color in a book, and specifically grayscale. And I was so pleasantly surprised with how that came out. That was just an amazing, pleasant experience. You can see that the colors are like, right now I'm using a really vibrant purple, and it's layering so smoothly, so incredibly just rich. There's no complaint there. Now, this is mostly a line drawing with a little bit of shading here and there. Like the frame is grayscale, but the actual illustration is line illustration. But there are a lot of, especially on the hair, I suggest the shading of the hair with the thinner lines. And the pencils cover the lines very beautifully. That's what I was impressed with, because I like removing the lines as much as possible in my coloring style. So a lot of times when I print on loose leaf, I actually print a lighter gray version of my line work, or actually lilac versions. A lot of times I offer the super special exclusive lilac lines to my patrons or to my club members. And that's because when you color with lighter, softer, light purple lines, the whole composition comes across as just more natural, because black lines, they're so intrusive, they're so invasive. I don't really like them for every type of coloring. So we're constantly battling our own dark lines when it comes to coloring pages. But here, one of the really pleasant surprises that I came across is that I can color those lines completely, at least with Prismacolor pencils. Now, which brands of pencils would not work so well here? And again, I haven't tested them all. I did test some of them just like on a scrap paper. Some of my books have empty pages in the back. So I did test some on scraps just to see how they would behave. And I would say that Castle Art is not the best for this kind of paper. Castle Art in general, I'm not a big fan of that brand. And on this paper, I just don't think you'll get the result that you wish with Castle Art. On the other hand, Zenecolor and Posca pencils. I don't know if you guys know that there are Posca pencils out there. There are. I have tested them myself. They're wonderful. Posca pencils, anything that's more chalky and pastel-y will actually work beautifully on this paper. I have not tested Black Widow on this paper yet. If you guys would like to see that, let me know in the live chat, and I'll make a note of that. If you're watching a rerun of this, please let me know in the comments below the video if you would like to see Black Widow tested on paper. I have over a dozen books published, and they're all up on my shelf. So I'm happy to test any one of my pages and any one of my printed books for you guys with any brand of pencil. So Black Widow on KDP paper, yay or nay? Let me know in the live chat, and let me know in the comments below the video if you're watching the rerun. Yes, the old paper was barely better than the regular copy paper. The new paper is decent. Okay, so we did get a confirmation that the paper got improved. Definitely, definitely, it is a huge improvement. I thought it was just me. I thought maybe like I did something wrong, or I used the wrong brand of pencils or something like that, or it was just too harsh on the grayscale. But no, in fact, there was an improvement, because this was actually pleasant to color on. And again, the colors are coming out so beautifully, so vibrant, so smooth. Would love for you to test Black Widows. Yes, it's always fun to watch you test things. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you. All right. What was I talking about? I completely lost my train of thought. In the live chat, our poll is now exactly 50-50. We have 50% of all of you voters coloring in books and 50% of you coloring in pages. I am surprised. I knew that most of my community colors on loose leaf, but apparently a lot of you color in books as well. That link up there is a very important link. That is my website, and the clickable link to that is, of course, in the video description. Use that link for all of your latest updates and sales and events and all of that fun stuff. If you're looking for anything at all, my full list of books, my lessons, my discounts, whatever, my Etsy listings, all of that is very nicely organized in my website. That way you don't have to search for things all over the place. On the very front page of the website, there's always an announcement about this month's Udemy course sale. I have 10 courses up on Udemy or something like that, coloring and art courses, and Udemy is all over the place with prices. Sometimes they'll price it as $199, sometimes they'll price it as $89.99, sometimes they'll price it as $12.99, but the price is always jumping around, and I have no control over that. The only way that I do have control over it is I can set a specific discount coupon for you guys, and every month I pick one course that's that month's special course, and that course remains on discount the entire month. To get that course, go to my website, and it's literally on the very front page, and it's a big orange button that says click here. This month's course is, drumroll, how to color gemstones. How to color gemstones is one of my longest courses. It's one of my most packed courses, and it's the course that produced the most amazing results from colorists. You see people in my community or on Facebook posting gemstones that look 100% real. Those are the people who took my course. It is absolutely amazing to see what people produce after doing that course. And right now you can get it for less than $15. The entire month of March, it's going to be up. As long as you use that coupon that's up on my website, you will get that course. I also made a special link for that in Talm, in my private community. I'm not going to put it in this video because they change every month, and this video is going to be up forever. So if you want to grab those discounts, go to my website and check it out. And of course, coloring gemstones is amazing. Treat yourselves and get it. That is someone who graduated that course and is doing brilliant work. Gemstones is an amazing course, says Ty, who also took it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, I kid you not. It produced such fantastic results. A lot of my courses, people take them, and I rarely see the work that you guys actually produce. When I teach live, obviously, I see everyone's coloring submissions. Like my skin tone courses, a lot of people take my skin tone courses, and I get a lot of homework submissions, but not nearly as many as I get with gemstones. People are just coloring gemstones left and right, and they're all brilliant, and they all look 100% realistic. It's insane. All right, I am doing some more blending with my pencils here on the right side of the screen. I am using my favorite blender pencil. That's a 20% French gray, and it's doing the job beautifully. The blending here is amazing. Again, if you experienced any kind of a scratchy effect on your KDP paper, either the pencils weren't fit for that paper, or you were unfortunate enough to get a book with the older version of the paper, because the new version is absolutely amazing. Doing this little highlight on the hair is effortless, absolutely effortless. So actually, like if I knew the exact make and model of this paper, I would buy it on loose leaf to teach my lessons, and that's hand over heart truth. But they don't tell you that. They give you, when you publish a book, they give you the dimensions and they like pick white or cream, but they don't tell you like the exact weight and number of the paper. Maybe now they do. The last time I published the book was in October last year, and back then they didn't. So if they do now, I will investigate that. And if I find out the exact dimensions, the exact characteristics of this paper, then maybe we can find something comparable on Amazon and buy that as loose leaf, because coloring in a book is a little bit problematic for me because it's in a book and pinning it to the board is not the easiest thing in the world to do. So I do prefer loose leaf for teaching purposes. But again, I enjoyed coloring this so much that I actually went on and colored an entire other page just to teach my my patrons, my exclusive coloring club on Patreon. Let's see. All right, checking on our poll again. We have pages are in the lead again, not by much, but 52 versus 48. So if you're just popping in, as I see more people are joining the show, thank you kindly. Welcome. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask me in the live chat. And if you are just joining in, please do watch the beginning of the show because we covered a lot of very useful information about this particular paper and the exact things that I'm covering, the exact criteria that I'm using to measuring the quality of this paper, which so far have been thickness, texture, color application, blending, layering, and our final one is going to be warping. Warping is what happens to the page when the texture of it is actually changed. We're back to 50-50 on the poll. That's crazy. So for instance, if you've ever done a watercolor painting not on watercolor paper, you know exactly what warping is. Your page just turns all wrinkly and it's not flat anymore. So that's warping. Sometimes when you color with markers on paper and that paper is not marker proof, you will get that kind of a warp. And sometimes warping happens even with colored pencils. It's a little bit difficult to get any kind of a warp with colored pencils, although I have seen it. I have seen it happen. A lot of people send me, well, as you know, people send me fan mail. We just opened fan mail with this beautiful painting that was done of me and my family. But a lot of times people send me their colorings, or the colorings that they've done of my work, the colorings that they've done over the years. And I have hundreds of them here in my studio. And quite a few of them are actually warped, even though they are done with colored pencils. And I'm not even sure how that's achieved, but somehow either too much pressure or the pencils are just too oily for that particular page. I'm not sure. I've never experienced warping with colored pencils on any paper that I work with, but it has happened. It does happen. Honestly, I never even had watercolor paper that did not warp. Oh, even watercolor paper that did not warp. Very true, very true. Even watercolor paper warps from the water that we're putting on it. So expecting regular drawing paper to not warp is really asking too much. Let's see what else. Somebody was saying something earlier. I'm not really sure what. Oh, got it today? What are you guys talking about? What are you talking about? I missed like half of the chat. If you guys are saying something in the chat and I am not responding or acknowledging it on the show, please post it again because the chat is scrolling by pretty quickly and I can't always keep up with it, especially if I'm on a rant about something. What I really like to use is paper that is called Durex. Yes, it's actually named that way. Durex. I don't know that paper. Can you tell us more about it? What kind of what weight is it? What texture is it? What tooth is it? What color is it? Is it designed for pencils? Is it designed for markers? What is it designed for? Ah, the gemstone course I meant. I cannot wait to start. Ah, cool. You got it today. Yes, you are going to love that course. For all of my courses that you take, you guys, on Udemy, please follow them in order. Take as long as you want, but do follow them in order. I know that with things, especially things like gemstones and glow effects, it's really tempting to just jump to your favorite. Like if your favorite color is amethyst, if your favorite stone is amethyst, like you may want to jump straight to it. But the courses are designed to build on top of one another. All the lessons are built on top of one another, and I very heavily reference all the theory and technique that I start with. So if you jump into lesson 23 out of 68, you may be completely lost with the terms that I'm using and the references that I'm using. So do follow them in order. And please take a moment to leave a review. Reviews are hugely helpful to me, and many of you do that, and I thank you kindly. If you are new to me on Udemy, please take a moment to leave a review. Pressure deforms the paper, or moisture? Both. Both. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is a question or a statement, but I agree that both of them do. Both pressure and moisture will deform the paper. Can we join Talm Circus for courses too? There are no circles for courses in Talm. Right now, I am still offering. Well, here's how it works. Every single one of the courses, a lot of the courses that I offer on Udemy were once upon a time ran as a live course in Talm. Once the live version of that course ended, it automatically became an on-demand course with a slight discount. So those are still up in Talm. If you prefer to join the extended version of that course in Talm, you can, by all means. But I am very actively moving most of my courses to Udemy because it just appeals to more people. It's easier for people to join those, and I have better control of the discounts and all of that stuff. So if you prefer to join gemstones in Talm, it's still available. You can still join it, and in Talm it will be the full unedited version of it with the homework review and everything. On Udemy, I shortened them down to just the material. We don't do any student work at all. So that's the difference. From the company, Schulershammer, 200 gram. White, but not super pure white. That's nice. I like when it's not super pure white. It's a little bit stark for me. There's some coloring books with such great paper that you can use everything on it. Kirby paper, Hannah Carlzone, and Maria Troll paper, for example. Yes. Tom Circus. Yes, new name. Yes, indeed. Well, it actually says 200 grams per meter with a 2 on it. I'm not really sure what that means. I will do my research on this and test it. Speaking of which, thank you guys so much for sending me all that stuff from my Amazon wish list. In the video description below, somewhere on the very bottom of all the text, there is my Amazon wish list. And the things that are still on there are things that I still wish to test on the show. And and I'm very happy to receive all of them and test all of them. Eventually, I do test all of them. My next one, there have been some requests for different brands of pencils, and there have been some requests for different brands of markers, and specifically skin tone markers. So I still have this one skin tone marker set that I am to review. But it was nice thickness, yes. I just saw a mail from Amazon that they delivered to you. Yay! So it should be here in a couple of days. The mailing address that I have on Amazon is my P.O. box. And from the P.O. box, it takes a couple of days to actually arrive to my house. So I should have it by the end of this week, actually, in my house. Okay, this is really cool. We totally digressed. But I am adding black now over my purple to create a shiny, silky hair effect. Who here in the live chat has taken my hair course? I teach a course on how to color beautiful hair, which is very confusing because as soon as you type in hair coloring, they immediately assume that you're talking about actual hair coloring, like hairstylist. So it was very difficult for me. It was more difficult. It was difficult for me to promote that course on Udemy because it kept mushing it with like hairdressers and everything. But there is a course on Udemy that I teach on how to color beautiful shiny hair. How many of you have taken it? Ah, there's a raised hand. More late birthday gifts, Felisa. Actually, right now I just got a pop-up that my PO box received a package. That must be the package that we were just talking about. That's so cool. So I will send it out, and I should have it by the end of the week. I will probably have it in time for the Twitch show on Saturday. So what would you guys like to do next? There's so many of you live on the show right now. Tell me what would you like to do on the next live show? We seem to be really enjoying these live chats, and I do like streaming at least once every 2 weeks. Although when I'm not terribly overworked, I can probably do it every week. But as you can see, a lot of preparation goes into these shows. I don't just arbitrarily start them. I actually have to do all of this recording and all of this video processing to do these live shows. I think that is the one I haven't done yet, the hair coloring course. I'm slowly working through skin tones right now. Realistic skin tones or skin tone mastery. There are 2 of them up there. It's awesome, and it makes coloring hair easy, and it looks so realistic. Awesome. Yeah, in that course, I cover 5 different types of hair, so that I can, I have 5 different models, and on each of them, I cover different hair type, like straight, curly, we have dreadlocks, and of course, color. We have blonde, redhead, brunette, chocolate, and some other purple. We actually have purple hair there. Lots of different effects, and of course different textures of hair. Is it super shiny? Is it a little bit more on the matte side? It's quite cool, and there's some cool effects that I teach there. Some of them look like this with the shiny hair. Let's see. Maybe tell us more about the classes you teach on various platforms. That is someone who is new to my channel. Go to my website. Which is in the video description, and there you will have, there's an entire section on my courses. I teach on skin tone mastery. Awesome. I offer at least 10 coloring courses on Udemy. There are a lot of people here in the live chat who have taken my courses. They can tell you how packed those courses are with information. They're all broken down into tiny video lessons, so you can go at your own speed, so that you're not overwhelmed by it. At the end of each course, you pretty much get a university level education on that particular topic. It's not just a color along, it's actually university level art classes with resources, with practice pages. Every single one of my courses comes with practice pages that are designed specifically for that course for you to practice on along the way. And what do I have? I have 2 skin tone coloring courses. I have a gemstones coloring course. That one is on sale right now, so that sale link is on my website front page. All the links are in the video description. That's where you find everything. There's a glow effects course. There's a course on how to color hair, metals, crystals, gemstones, undead people. There's a bunch of stuff there. I don't even remember everything that's up there at this point. I recommend color theory. How could I forget? I recommend starting with color theory. Yes, my number 1 course, color theory, is great for everyone, whether you're a colorist or an illustrator, if you like to draw. Then color theory is absolutely essential. It just covers so much of the science of color and color application, and also how to choose colors. So that's definitely something that I recommend to start with. And my courses tend to be overall between 4 and 7 hours of total learning time. But realistically, expect to spend about 3 to 4 weeks on each course if you're actually, also, if you also have a life on the side, and if you're taking the time to do the homework, which you absolutely should, because without the practice, it's just theory, and we don't learn through theory, we learn through practice. So I still need to take the hair course. Figured it would go nice with skin tone mastery. Yes. Yes, once you have the skin tones, hair color is the next logical things. Oh, glow and metal courses sound great. Yes, yes. Go for glow effects first. The metal course is cool, but it's an older course. I like it, but as an artist, we feel a little self-conscious about our older material, and you're like, I can do so much better now. It's like my video production has improved since then, but metal course is very cool. Very, very helpful for specific effects for coloring. I cover yellow metals, white metals, and red metals. So gold, silver, and copper. In the glow effect course, that's a playground that just goes on forever and ever. And it's a gold mine. That is a 7-hour course. And it's in 4 chapters, and every chapter has 3 different subjects in it. And it was one of my favorite classes to teach. I loved the glow course. I loved the glow course, says Ty. Yeah, so those are all up on Udemy now. And of course, all the links to everything are in the video description. Swing by. But always check, always check the front page of my website for that one link for the course of the month. And this month it's gemstones. So don't miss out on that. That's a really, really cool one. All right, glow effects is a game changer. This turned into like the whole course's promotional video, and it wasn't meant to be. It was meant to be a paper quality review show. So you guys are making me blush. Just go do your own research on my courses. I'm gonna stop talking about it. Lest the new members in the community will think that's all we do here live on the show. But thank you so much, all of you who are taking them, and for all of your amazing feedback. So back to our actual program. Adding black now to the hair. This is an effect that I really like applying to my hair, is doing an undertone. Notice that I started with like that perfect middle purple. Then I did some blending to create the highlights with my 20% French gray. And now I'm going over everything that's super saturated purple with solid black. This is a classic tattoo style hair effect. I used to be a tattoo artist for like ever. So a lot of my habits are still there from my tattoo days. And this is like old school tattoo hair coloring. We would color black hair in a very similar way, except instead of purple, we would use blue. And that would be like the traditional sailor tattoo hair kind of a coloring. Creating new glow effects is a lot of fun. I need to resist to put it in all new artworks. Hey, Ego Brain, welcome. So great to have you with us. So great. We had some awesome things happen early on the show today. So all of you who are just joining, please do watch the beginning of the show at your own convenience later on, because I talked a lot about what's happening here on the screen right now, what else is happening in the community. And also we opened a present that Tara sent me, and that was a really cool thing. Once this video, I will definitely watch later, thank you. Once this live stream is processed by YouTube, which takes like 24 hours, I'll be able to add chapters to this. So depending on when you're watching this, they may already be chapters here on the bottom of the screen, and then you'll be able to see which part is the gift opening part, because it's really cool and really special. I really enjoyed it, and they were packing peanuts flying everywhere. In fact, right now my desk is still covered in packing peanuts. The whole room is covered in packing peanuts. So if you guys would like to see more of that on the show, by all means, send me stuff. My shipping address is it's not in the video description, but it's in my Amazon wish list if you want to get it that way, or you can just send me a private message and ask me for my shipping address. That's fine too. All right, let's color this rose. How many of you like coloring roses or flowers in general? How many of you would like to see a show on coloring flowers? I've done a few, not a lot. I'm not really a big flower person. I mean, in real life, I am. I love flowers, but I rarely do a lot of flower coloring on the show. I do a lot of skin tones. I do a lot of creepy gothic effects. I do a lot of complete compositions like hair and skin tone and everything. I talk a lot about color theory and matching colors. I do a lot of product reviews, obviously, and test driving different pencils, but I rarely do flowers. So is it something that you guys are interested in? I I also don't have pages that are flowers. I have flowers as accent designs in some things. Like for instance, here, the flower is just part of the decoration in her hair. The flower is not the main attraction. Although it is a prominent part on the page, but she's the main character. The flower is just to decorate her hair, and it does need to be colored. And a lot of pages do come with flowers. A lot of pages by different artists come with flower designs and different kinds of flowers. A rose being the most popular flower of them all. Now, me, I hate drawing roses, but I do really enjoy coloring them. It's very strange. So, what do you guys think? How do you feel about all this? I loathe coloring and drawing flowers. I would be interested in seeing it. A lot of coloring pages have flowers, right? Exactly. That's what I was thinking. A lot of them have them. Um, I like flowers as part of a page, but not as the only thing on the page. Yeah, I agree. And I haven't actually seen that many pages that are specifically flower centered. Obviously, if it's like a whole book on flowers or nature, then that would be the case. But very rarely do we see that in the coloring world out there. A lot of times there's just accents and decorations in somebody's hair or in the background. I love flowers, general botanicals. I don't like coloring them, and I don't like coloring them. I don't know why. Interesting. Maybe if the flowers were the focal point of the subject of the coloring page. I think a lot of people don't like coloring them. Drawing roses can be a bit annoying. Yes, I agree. I hate drawing them. You need a lot of them for your idea, but the coloring afterwards is fun. I feel exactly the same way about roses. They look so good on the coloring page, especially anything gothic. Like roses and gothic art just go together. And this is an entire book on gothic art. So obviously there are a lot of roses in it. But for decoration, I was working but listening. Yay! Next live is going to be a review of a new coloring pencil. Oh, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Okay. You guys have spoken. Next lesson, next live stream will be a review of new coloring pencils. Sounds like fun. For me, I I like coloring. I do like coloring flowers, yes. Even though I'm not a big fan of drawing roses, I am a huge fan of drawing chrysanthemums and peonies and like traditional Japanese tattoo style flower designs. I have a lot of those in my art, especially recently as I'm shifting a lot towards the Japanese style and the manga style and in general. So I have a lot of those in my art, and I really like coloring them with both pencils and markers, brush markers specifically. Rose is a classic, and a lot of coloring pages have them. I hesitate on doing a whole stream on flowers because I'm afraid no one's gonna show up. It's as simple as that. I'm like, if people really hate coloring flowers, they're probably not gonna come to my stream, and it's just not gonna be a good show. But on the other hand, I'm thinking people hate coloring flowers because they don't know how to color flowers. And if I give you a show that teaches you a nice, easy way that creates an amazing effect quickly, then maybe that will be a game changer for you, and maybe you would like to learn something like that. So I'm genuinely torn. Like this is an honest question. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Like I don't want to just waste a show on it. I would like to learn how to properly color skull skeletons. I am so on it. That's like totally up my alley. You have some in your artwork. I realize they're not all really white, wanting some more natural looking. Yes. Are you a member of the coloring club? In the coloring club, we did, there was an entire month dedicated to just bone effects and specifically how to get those colors. I haven't, I realized that I haven't done skulls and bones in a long time on YouTube, but I have done them. Yes, skulls and bones and not purely white. I love that topic. Absolutely. If more people are into skulls and bones, I will do it. I think most people don't like coloring flowers because they generally loop. Interesting, because it's like the same pattern over and over again. I have a whole book and it's so beautiful. It has stained glass flowers, and flowers are organized like a book of a flower of a botany book. That sounds like fun. I'll show up every minute of it. Aw, thank you. Look flat, not loop. Oh, okay. I always show up here because I love to see you. Oh, thank you. That's like that's what we do in the game in Fallout. We have like this little heart emoji. I was wondering if we can have a live show on how to color feathers, like on birds of prey, maybe. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I am taking screenshot notes of all of these. These are great. I've had requests for feathers. I've had requests for fur. And I've had, this isn't the first request that I had for skulls and bones. Actually, there's a page in one of my books that will kill two birds with one stone, no pun intended, that has a bird and a skull on the same page. And it's a bird, it's a raven sitting on top of a cow skull, and he's holding a love letter in his beak. I think that might be a fun page to color. To cover several of these topic at once. We will do the bone effect and the feather effect on the same page. So stuff like that would absolutely be fun. Ah, yes, I was there for the coloring club on bones. Cool. I need to learn how to draw skeletons better. Still confused by it. That would be the doodle club. In the doodle club, which is another tier on Patreon, I teach freehand drawing. And actually, I had an announcement about that as well, and I completely forgot. In the Doodle Club this month, we will pause and we will switch to solo cam. In the Doodle Club this month, I am teaching how to freehand human eyes a lot. And this is like large scale human eyes. So for those of you who are in the Doodle Club, this is how large we're working this month. And this is done freehand with pencils in under an hour. And that is exactly what I will be teaching. That lesson goes live tomorrow. Usually they come out on the 1st of the month, but I had a freak audio mishap, so I had to re-record everything this morning. So that video is going up for my patrons of the Doodle Club, or my Doodle Club members in Tom, and that will start tomorrow. So join the Doodle Club if you have drawing interest. And every month there I teach new things. We had face studies, we're going to do hand studies, we had dance studies. Absolutely, we can do skeletons. We did some animal skeletons earlier in the year. My new coloring page has flowers. I am coloring the page before I put it up. I have colored 6 flowers and got bored. Don't tell people that you get bored with your own coloring pages. I'd be into coloring bones and skulls. Cool. Yes, yes, fur. Feathers would be fun too. All right, fur, feathers, bones. I'm starting to get a feel for it. Fur, feathers, bones, and more pencil testing. All right. I am still waiting for a tutorial for photorealistic fire. All right, I have not done photorealistic fire. I am like totally behind on the chat again. I have not done photorealistic fire on the stream on the show because I tend to teach on YouTube or to demo on YouTube coloring pages, and coloring pages and photorealistic, they don't go together, and mainly because of those outlines. So it's very, very difficult for me to give you a page that will actually produce photorealistic fire. I can teach you how to draw photorealistic fire from scratch, and that can be a Doodle Club month on fire. That would absolutely be interesting. I could teach you realistic darkish effects of fire on coloring pages. But again, we're constantly competing with the actual drawing lines. But fire is a glow effect, and that is something that I do love teaching. I love my glow effects. And in the glow effect course, actually, one of the things that I teach is candlelight. And that I teach as a realistic flame effect. I would watch it. I would like a coloring page tutorials on crowns, velvet, and tapestry-like fabric for your Victorian ladies. I'm sure. Yes, that would be cool. And also right up my alley. Oh, fire, that's a good idea. Must learn bones too. True. Want to color my own coloring page with the raven and the skull. Dudes and gals, why were you quiet all these years? Bones are like all I love to draw and color. Just like I was a taxidermy artist. I love bones and dead things. If you guys want more bones and dead things, just I'll make it happen. No worries. Like we don't have to color hearts and roses, which apparently no one is interested in on this show. If you guys want to see more skulls and bones, oh my God, yeah, 100%. Love royal stuff from the oil painting portraits. Yeah, same here. I love like the Victorian era art, and you can see a lot of it. I am an oil painter by calling. Like that's what my actual art degree is classical oil painting. And all of my art is inspired very heavily by traditional oil paintings and then warped by my years of doing tattoos. Together, those two create my adult coloring art, which knowing that you will probably see it in a different light. There's a lot of like Victorian vintage designs in my decorative work. A lot of background patterns are done in a Victorian vintage design. A lot of the style, the hairstyles of my characters are all very Victorian or Gothic. But then there are these clean outlines with line variation that absolutely all come from my tattoo habits. It's beautiful at the same time. The skulls and bones and everything. Yeah, we'll definitely do more of that. And this book, the book that we're actually coloring in right now, Gothic Wonderlands, has an entire chapter on bones. It has multiple chapters, and it has a chapter on ravens. And again, you can see that there's like Gothic Victorian designs in the back and thick outlines on the front. So just like I said, the mix of the two cultures. It has ravens. There's a whole chapter on ravens. This girl is from the chapter on Day of the Dead and stuff like that. But there's an entire chapter here on skeletons and skulls. So we have pages with bones, a lot of pages with skulls, because this is Gothic Wonderlands, right? So we have living characters dancing with skeletons. Well, there's a flip through happening right now. I'm not even going to do it physically. There's a flip through of the book happening right now. So lots and lots of opportunities to color skulls and bones. Also, if you want, so I had this idea, but I thought it was stupid. Let me know what you guys think. I had this idea that we could do one show at a time and actually complete an entire book with teaching different effects on every page. At first, I thought it was a really cool idea because then we can do, like, there's an entire chapter on cats, so we can do fur. There's an entire chapter on architecture, so like creepy houses and light effects, ravens, skulls, bats. There's an entire chapter on bats in here. So lots of different effects that we could practice, but it's kind of a sick book. Like, it's a lot to cover. It's like 36 individual illustrations and they're doubled. So I don't know, 36 shows in a row, all from the same book, but doing different effects. It's like, it's dedication. I don't know if I can do it. And I don't know if it will be boring to you guys or not, but I do like color and like coloring actually in the book and then because it's doubled, right? So you have all the 36 pages and then the book starts all over again. So color the first half of it and then leave the second half blank and then like sell it as a collectible that I colored in. That was my idea, and then run the shows as well. So do you guys think it's stupid? What do you think? I think it's an awesome idea. Sounds cool to me. Great idea. That would be a lot of fun. They don't have to be in a row. No, they don't have to, and they can't be anymore because right now I already colored 2 pages from like 2 totally different chapters, and hopefully I did it in. I might have done it in the second half of it, not in the first half of it. I'm not really sure. No, I was good. I did it in the first half. So yeah, if I complete it, I can totally do this half a book colored by the artist by hand and half a book for you to color and like sell it for like $10,000 as a collectible. Maybe you can choose like 3 from each chapter if you maybe too much to color them all to show. Love it. Love the idea. Okay. I would have to do it all at once, maybe 1 or 2 months. Okay, yeah, like not maybe like space them out. That's actually, that would make it easy on both me and you. A collectible thing also sounds great, right? That's, yeah, you guys are thinking correctly. So if I'm getting overwhelmed with coloring in the same book every week, maybe, occasionally do a side stream on something completely unrelated, but still continue with this project. All right, let's do it. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. We're already 2 pages in. Let's do it. So let's pick the next one that has either feathers. Okay, let's vote. Let's vote right now live on the show. Next page, next stream, you guys have spoken. We will do another page in this book, actually physically in the book. I will test my new pencils on it. We won't do the whole book on the same pencils. We'll test different ones. But vote, vote, vote. Do we do it on ravens or skulls and bones? Ravens or skulls and bones? It's an amazing idea. Heck yeah. Awesome. Oh, you guys are such a good sport. I love it. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. And with your support, it's going to be a lot easier because I thought it was just like too overwhelming. Both. Well, obviously, eventually we'll do both. But what are we going to do next on the show, on the next show? Fur. Ravens. Ravens. Coloring book club. Woot woot. Yes. Ravens. Okay, so far we're getting more ravens. But again, like we'll do all of them. But what are we going to do next time? And it will be so cool. It will be so cool. I love complete projects. They're very, very special. So to be able to complete this half of a book and just have it, I think would be very special. Ravens first. Tara, of course, is going to say ravens. There's no surprise there. The queen of ravens. Ravens first. All right. So far, most people are saying ravens. We have a bunch of cool raven pages in here. One of the raven pages I already did as a stream on a glow effects, and that was a variation of this page. But it's a little bit different in the book, and we can do a completely different effect on it. So that raven is an option. We have a really cool decorative raven skull in this book. That's very cool. We have this raven with a gothic house behind him, which we actually also did a show on, a version of that page with the purple rose and stuff. So we're not going to do that one next. We also did these guys. Oh, we didn't do these guys, but we have these guys. These are really cool. Anyway, there are a lot of them. There are a lot of really cool ravens in here that we can do. There's the cover page that's really dark. You pick. Okay, I'll pick a nice, fun raven page for us, and we'll do it. A page with 2 ravens. 1 black raven, 1 white raven. Ooh, that's cool. Okay, we might have to do that. The page where the 2 ravens are fighting in the air. One's black, one's white. Very, very cool. Fur, fur. More people are saying fur. That'll be the cat section for the fur. So maybe we'll do the cats after. So ravens first, then cats, then bones, or ravens, bones, cats. We'll vote again on the next show when you guys are here live. Awesome idea. Right. Yeah, I agree. Awesome, awesome idea. Smudging, blending, so smooth. So smooth. Even if you're not a good blender, that's like a mean thing to say. Even if you're not comfortable creating smooth blending effects, then honestly, this paper is just making it really friendly with the Q-tip. As long as you apply your pigment very lightly, which I'm comfortable creating a gradient transition from a dark color to nothing using just pressure variation, you don't have to. You can actually use 3 different versions of purple to create that gradient effect. Just apply the lighter color first and then the darker ones and then the darker ones. But if you even struggle with any kind of a gradient transition, then using blender pencils and using Q-tips on this paper is so friendly. So friendly. Whatever they did, it's a huge improvement. I'm going to stop talking crap about this paper and I'm going to start promoting it more aggressively because I found this experience to be life-changing. So life-changing, in fact, that we just changed the whole show around with this new program of having to complete the book. It's insane. Very, very pleased with how this came out. This paper that I was showing you earlier, this is my standard drawing paper. This is what I'm teaching in the Doodle Club this month. And this is the standard drawing paper. This is 60-pound drawing paper. This is what I teach all of my drawing on, and that's how the effects come out on that paper with pencil. I would say that it's comparable. The Amazon paper is comparable to that. So for drawing and for coloring, it's absolutely fantastic. So again, going over the things that we wanted to cover here: thickness, texture, color application, blending, layering, and warping. Thickness doesn't matter. Unless it's like, tissue paper thin, you can color on it. So it doesn't have to be thick to be good quality paper. Even for markers, apparently. A lot of you in the live chat here were talking about how you use markers on this specific paper, and there's no problem at all. Some of you don't like the markers on this paper. I honestly wouldn't use markers on this paper. I don't think it's designed for that. Although exceptions can be made, especially if you're layering markers over your pencil coloring. That's like an additional layer of protection there. But working with colored pencils, there's absolutely no problem with the thickness of this paper. The texture I found to be pleasant. Just realistically, genuinely pleasant. It's not too toothy. It's not too smooth. The one thing that I absolutely hate about paper is when it's glossy, when it's meant to be just plain and it's actually a little bit glossy, a little bit shiny. And then the pencils, the pigments that you apply actually reflect off the page. It just rubs me the wrong way. I really hate it when there's that reflection of the pencil. It didn't happen here at all. Again, let me look at the original here and see how that turned out. There's no glare whatsoever, and you can see that on the screen that there's no glare. The color is just nice and smooth, but it's Prismacolor. Prismacolor is kind of the creme de la creme of coloring pencils. It is amazing. Some coloring pencils, I can't speak for them. They may create glare on this paper, but it's not the fault of the paper. It's going to be the fault of the pencil. Color application, I'll give it 100% on this one. There's no complaint about color application. Look at that rose. You can't see the black outlines at all on it. It's just a nice, delicate, smooth pink rose. Like, that's hard to get on your regular printer paper. You would not be able to color over those black lines on a printer paper. So this is actually an improvement in terms of color application. I find this to be much better than standard printer paper. Not better than Strathmore. No, I wouldn't go that far. Definitely not better than Strathmore, especially, it's apples and oranges. I like my Strathmore paper to be either tanned or gray. So I don't even color on white Strathmore paper. If I'm coloring on white paper, then I'm just going to use my 60-pound standard drawing paper. So can't really compare this to Strathmore because two completely different things. If I had to choose, though, I would always go with coloring on Tanto and Strathmore over coloring on anything white, but that's a color preference. I prefer to color on things on paper that already has a tint to it rather than on white paper. But books are printed on white, and a lot of people color in books. Apparently, 55% of you color on pages and 45% of you color in books. So that's a lot of you who color in books. And granted, we didn't exactly have 1,000 people live on the show here today, but I'm hoping that more of you who are watching this as a rerun, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, put in the comments below if you prefer pages or books so that I get a better idea of who I'm preaching to. So that was texture, color application, blending. Blending here was spectacular. I was able to use my blender pencils very nicely, very smoothly. My light colors are still layering beautifully over my darker colors. I was able to blend with my Q-tip, which was a huge surprise. I didn't expect that to happen. That was absolutely amazing. That whole background gradient is done 100% with a Q-tip. That whole glow on her cheek is done with a Q-tip. Beautiful, beautiful blending. Layering, no beef there whatsoever. You saw all the layering that I did on the makeup of her face. I picked this page specifically because she has so much happening there that we had to deal with her makeup. That's a lot of layering on top of her skin tone. And of course, with the hair and the rose, we also had to do a lot of layering. No problem there whatsoever. And of course, even though we had lots of layers, we had no warping at all. So I have no complaints about this paper. So if you hear people talking crap about Amazon KDP paper, probably they're talking about the older version of the paper back in the day when it wasn't so stellar, or they're just blindly repeating what they're hearing online. So go forth, my children, and educate them. Send them to this stream, send them to this show, and show them that they are wrong, that it is in fact excellent paper to color in. So don't let the paper quality stop you from purchasing a book. A lot of times, like I said, I offer all of my content both as PDF downloads and as published books. And a lot of times I get a comment of, I'm going to get this as a PDF download because the Amazon paper sucks. I don't care either way. I don't care if you get the PDF or if you get the print version. It's all the same to me. It's actually better for me if you get it on Etsy than if you get it on Amazon. But I don't sway you either way, whatever is more comfortable for you. But don't shoot yourself in the foot. Don't miss out on a good experience because of this gossip that's been going around about the quality of the paper, because it's actually really good paper. At least today it is. Oh, I forgot to mention the surface of the Durox. It is very smooth. I'm probably not going to like it then. I don't like smooth paper. Too smooth is, for me, I don't like it. I like to have a little bit of texture on my paper for actually smoother transitions of color. The smoother the paper is, the more difficult it is to create those flawless gradient transitions. So I don't really like smooth that much. But I know that a lot of people do. I love smooth. That's why people like cardstock so much. A lot of cardstock paper is very smooth, and that's why I don't like cardstock that much. I just bought this whole pack of cardstock in different tones of pink. And I love pink. I love pink paper to work on. I'm really into creating all sorts of glow effects and different kind of gradient effects on pink paper. But I'm a little bit struggling with it because it's not the best for me. It's a little bit too smooth for what I like. I would like to see pink toned Strathmore paper. That would be amazing if I had the texture of Strathmore, but in the pink tones that I like on that cardstock. That would be ideal. I like some texture too. Yeah, that's me as well. Texture is much better, like a little bit of a tooth. Obviously, you don't want too much of a tooth because not like watercolor paper. That would be obscene for, right? Pink Strathmore would be super cool. Like, some people try to color on watercolor paper. I've had some questions about, can we print coloring pages on watercolor paper? And no, you cannot, sadly. I mean, you can try, but it's going to be a complete disaster because it's so toothy. Especially if it's a very detailed coloring page, all of that detail is going to be lost because it's so wrinkly, it's so toothy, the proper watercolor paper, that there's no way that you can get a clean print. And actually, a lot of times it will come out of the printer completely smudged because it's competing with the tooth of the paper, so you can't even get a good print on it. You can draw it, if you can freehand it and then color it, then sure, but most people don't, and you can't get a huge level of detail on watercolor paper. It's not designed for that. It's designed for like these blurry, smudgy, watery effects, not for tons of detail. Like this page wouldn't come out on watercolor paper. I have some blue toned from Strathmore, but have not tried it yet. I am super duper confused by the blue Strathmore. Several people have sent me a link to the blue Strathmore, and it looks gray to me. I haven't actually seen it in real life. If you guys want to send me this magical stuff, I'll certainly test it. But looking at the Amazon listing, it looks barely different than Strathmore Gray. Like I expected when I heard blue, I got excited because obviously it's my favorite color. I love blue. I would love to color on blue, but I looked at it, I'm like, that's not blue. That's like gunmetal blue. It's practically gray. So I'm completely confused. Like I don't think that's right. I don't think it should be blue. I don't think it should be called blue. There used to be some really gorgeous toned papers, but all our art stores stopped selling it. Oh no! It is dusty blue. Oh. Okay, I got my hopes up with it. I was expecting it to be like actually blue. I have Strathmore blue, gray, and tan. I have gray and tan. I've been working on gray and tan for years now. I have not yet tried blue, basically because of that, because I went to look at it and I'm like, ah, doesn't look blue at all. Wow. It's like grayish blue, but it's a really nice blue. Is it really? I was so concerned. Like when I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, did I cease to see the color blue? This is terrifying. But no, no, it's just like this gray. And it may also be the photo. Again, I didn't see it in real life, so I don't know what it looks like. It may just be like the listing, the photo listing isn't fully calibrated for colors, so it comes out as looking a little bit more gray than a little bit more blue. Okay, this part is cool. I thought I was done with this, and then I realized that the frame is a little bit too stark with the gray, and the gray is taking away from all the beautiful colors that I've already added to it, and something's missing. Like a lot of times I have this clear vision of how I want something to turn out at the end, but a lot of it also happens by feel. As I'm making art, I'm like, oh, this color looks nice here. We need a balance to it on the other side of the page. So it felt like we have so much of this maroon color on her lips and on her rose, and there's just like these elements of maroon or of magenta here and there, that something like an accent piece to it is missing. So I picked this nice magenta color for the frame, and I'm just like lightly tinting it, and the color is coming out so pure, even over gray. And this was a turning point for me. This moment right here, layering this, whatever it is, magenta color over gray, over actual solid gray, and coming up with a nice, beautiful, clean color is what made me decide to flip through my book and find like a nice dark grayscale page and color that with Prismacolors. And that turned out just beautifully. So this is what made me do it. And that's the lesson that you guys have this month in the coloring club. And I checked the stats on it this morning. Like a bunch of people are already watching it. It's really cool. I can't wait to see all those colorings. So if you haven't joined the coloring club yet, go to my Patreon page. All the links to everything are in the video description. We had a few people join already in the beginning of this month, today, this morning, which is way cool. Welcome everyone who just joined. And if you haven't yet, join us. It's loads of fun. Like these shows are awesome because we get to chat, and it's lots of silliness and packing peanuts. But I don't really teach on YouTube. I present you with information and thoughts, and I test drive a lot of things, and we just have a nice conversation going. But if you want like actual teaching material, then that's either the coloring club on Patreon, the doodle club on Patreon, my courses on Udemy, or my courses on Skillshare. And of course, the links to everything that you can possibly need are in the video description and on my website. So check all of that out, especially if you are new on this show. So these are the final moments of the show. This, once again, is the final flip through of the book. If you are new to me, if you're new to my art, do give this book a shot. Again, it's available in PDF download and in print. In print, it's available in hardcover as well as softcover. It's very cool. In fact, the one that's behind me, where there is the hardcover. The paper quality in the hardcover is exactly the same. It's just that it has a hardcover, but you will get the same result in the hardcover book. So if you like what you see, grab a copy of this book, and apparently now we'll be coloring this entire book together, as you guys have so wonderfully supported my idea a few minutes ago. So if you don't have this book, at this point, you should definitely get it, because the lessons to come are all going to be on the pages from this book. And again, it matters not to me if you get it in PDF or in print. I hope I changed your mind on the quality of this paper. If I didn't, it's no matter. Do whatever you guys wish, whatever makes you more comfortable. There's certainly advantages to both coloring in the book or coloring on paper. And for me, the main one is the paper color. I don't actually like coloring on white paper as much as I do on toned paper. So I will always prefer to do Strathmore tan or Strathmore gray or my cardstock pink. I can definitely see your Victorian oil painting style in this page. So pretty. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's crazy. No matter what I draw, I was talking to Linda about it the other day on our private call about how I have this underlying like Victorian goth style in everything that I draw. Even if I'm doing an anime page, if I'm doing like a classic tattoo design, there's still that underlying Victorian goth glamour that exists in my art. And that's part of style. We talk a lot about style and finding your own personal style on the show. And that's mine. And it's not something that I chose. It's just something that naturally comes out in my art. Oh, okay. So I have a note on the screen, a very large note. I will show it to you. Because I always forget. I run these polls and I always forget to actually end them. I'm going to do it now. We're going to end this poll and we're going to get poll results. Or maybe not. Actually, nothing happened. I thought it was going to be more. That was like totally anticlimactic. Well, I'm never doing that again. That was totally stupid. I thought we were going to get like a big banner of the results and everything. Absolutely nothing happened. It just took all of my results away. We're not doing that again. Thank you, YouTube. Well, before I destroyed the evidence, the poll stated that about half of you prefer to color on loose leaf and about half of you prefer to color in books. And this brings us to the end of our show. This was so fun. Thank you for letting me see your reaction. Yay! Thank you so much for sending me your beautiful art and all the other gifts. Thank you everyone for coming live to the show. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next live stream, which will probably be in... You can see them? I can see the results in the chat. I can't. They like totally disappeared for me. Oh, that's so lame. Well, at least you guys can see them. Maybe it's not that lame. All right, so everyone voted. We're doing ravens next time, and looks like I'll be coloring with new pencils that are already waiting for me in the mailbox. Thank you guys again so much. I'll see you in the next video.